In our top story, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong has unveiled some of the details of the Pioneer Generation package. This was at a tribute party at the Istana this morning. Our reporter Sharon C. was there and joins us now. Sharon, it's all about a major concern for this group of people, healthcare.
That's right, Wei Su. Mr. Lee defined the Pioneer Generation as Singaporeans who were aged 16 and above when the country gained independence in 1965. They will get a special package to help them cope with their healthcare costs for the rest of their lives. Mr. Lee described this as a sincere expression of the country's gratitude for the contributions of its pioneers. He spoke at a party held on the Istana lawn on a hot, sunny Sunday morning. It was attended by more than 1,000 representatives of the Pioneer Generation.
Many among the Pioneer Generation had migrated to Singapore from other lands to start a new life here. They were part of the anti-colonial struggle, the battle against the communists, and the separation from Malaysia and independence in 1965. Despite difficult times, they started Singapore on its path of development, which transformed the lives of the entire population. On Sunday, more than 1,000 Singaporeans who represent this Pioneer Generation were honoured at the Istana, the official residence of the President.
You have contributed in many ways, big and small. As mothers and housewives, bringing up new generations of Singaporeans. As farmers and Samsui women, traders and factory workers, putting food on the table for your families and keeping Singapore going. As members of the volunteer corps, protecting Singapore during confrontasi, or of the vigilante corps, keeping our streets safe from saboteurs. As our earliest regulars and national servicemen, building up the SAF and the home team. As doctors, treating and caring for our sick, and as nurses working alongside them, going to villages to teach people about nutrition, hygiene and health, and to schools to screen and immunize our children. As teachers, setting up new schools and nurturing our young.
Mr. Lee said the government has consulted widely on what would be meaningful and helpful to the Pioneer Generation. As healthcare is at the top of the minds of many older Singaporeans, Mr. Lee said the Pioneer Generation package will thus focus on healthcare benefits. The package will give financial support in 3 important areas, and the Pioneer Generation will enjoy these for life. First, greater support for the Pioneer Generation so that the premiums for MediShield Life are kept affordable. There will also be help for the outpatients bills, with extra subsidies at polyclinics, specialist outpatient clinics, and general practitioners. And there will be additional annual top-ups to their MediSave accounts to help with their medical needs. These measures will lower the medical expenses of the Pioneer Generation and also reduce the burden on their children.
This is a special package for a special generation. But no matter how we design the package, it can never fully reflect the contributions that our pioneers have made to our nation. Nevertheless, I hope you will accept it as a sincere expression of our gratitude, and I hope that it will be of help to you and to your families.
The Pioneer Generation has been defined as those Singaporeans who will be 65 years or older by the end of this year and who became citizens before 1987. This group numbers an estimated 450,000 people.
The biggest tribute we can pay to the Pioneer Generation is to build on your legacy. You've been tested by crisis and proven by your resolve. Now, it's our generation's task to carry on and take further what you began. To stay true to your pioneering spirit, to be self-reliant, never to say die, and to be united in purpose, and to rededicate ourselves to building our nation and take Singapore to greater heights.
The full details of the Pioneer Generation package will be announced during the budget on February 21st.
Mr. Lee also paid tribute to the Malay community, thanking them for their loyalty and contributions to Singapore. Speaking in Malay, he said separation from Malaysia in 1965 was a moment of choice between joining Malaysia and being part of a majority or remaining in Singapore as a minority.
Tetapi ternyata ramai di kalangan Anda yang memilih untuk kekal di Singapura selepas merdeka untuk bersama-sama mengorak kehidupan baru. Pilihan anda ini telah membantu Singapura mekar menjadi sebuah masyarakat berbilang bangsa dan agama yang bersatu padu dan yang harmoni.
Point that the Pioneer Generation package is more than just a subsidy. He said it will help the Pioneer Generation enjoy a better quality of life in their golden years.
这个配套主要的目的是帮忙年长人士负担部分医疗费用，让他们可以有更多的资源花在生活的其他方面，或是储蓄起来。同时，这也能够帮忙减轻他们孩子的负担。因此，这个配套的意义不单是提供医疗津贴，同时也是帮忙这一代人过更好的晚年。
That's all from me. Back to you, Wei Su.
Thanks for that, Sharon. Let's move on now. President Tony Tan and Emeritus Senior Minister Goh Chok Tong have welcomed the government's efforts to recognize the contributions of the Pioneer Generation.
We should not just leave it to the government to do everything. All of us in society has benefited from what the Pioneer Generation has done, their sacrifices and their hard work. So we should do our part in our own ways in order to recognize both individually as well as in community groups.
Emphasizing health is indeed very important. Cash is much less important than the emphasis on removing the anxiety of the older generation from their medical and healthcare costs. So I fully support that package.
Members of the Pioneer Generation themselves told us they're happy about the package.
87-year-old Madam Wong Ah-Woon was born in China and came to Singapore when she was 21 years old. She worked as a Samsoi woman and was involved in the construction of various buildings like the Shangri-La Hotel and the Singapore General Hospital.
腳冇方便，2個禮拜都係睇一擺，睇腳痛嘅。不過3、4個月後到去嗰邊睇，有隻陳竹生又睇。
Madam Wong requires medical care, and she said the Pioneer Generation package will help to cover some of her outpatient fees and boost her MediSave account balance.
MediSave was introduced in 1984, and that's why many in the Pioneer Generation don't have much in their MediSave accounts. So most of the pioneers I spoke with support the government's move to provide additional top-ups to their MediSave accounts so as to help them and their family members cope with their medical needs. Now, these top-ups can also be used to pay for the premiums for MediShield Life.
Another pioneer who will benefit from this is 72-year-old Madam Tima, a storekeeper at Tan Tock Seng Hospital who suffers from diabetes. While she currently gets medical subsidies as a hospital staff member, her family will have to foot the full bill when she stops working.
Banyak bagus. Jadi yang kata orang yang berumur-umur ni, yang kata pendapatan kecil, dia dapatlah membiayai mereka yang kata orang kronik. Jadi yang mana saya pun berharap semoga berpanjanganlah pembantuan itu sebab alhamdulillah saya dalam aliran line hospital ni saya sangat berbangga.
The package will also cover the first batch of national servicemen who were called up in 1967. They include Mr. Unveiled Singh, who served as a field engineer officer.
It's an old age that you need medical rather than at a young age. And when we are working, we are quite fit and never had a problem. But when you retire, that's when the problems come in. That's when you need help and you don't have any income.
Among the pioneers invited to the Istana was Singapore's longest-serving opposition member of parliament, Mr. Chiam See Tong.
I'm happy to have heard that the government is generous in recognizing the contribution done by the Pioneer Generation, and benefits are recurrent in nature and not one-off. That's a very big thing for pioneers who are not so well off.
Also joining in the celebrations was Madam Noor Aisha, the wife of Singapore's first president, the late Mr. Yusof Ishak.
The government very kind, today invite all of us today, and then to come here to enjoy with whatever they have done, and then we also feel very happy what we have done last time. They still remember us.
The estimated 450,000 pioneers who will be covered by the package will enjoy the benefits for the rest of their lives, and there will be more support for those who are older.